Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fahmideh Hussein. I'm from London, UK. I work in the charity industry. I first started learning about Shia Islam last year. I actually grew up in a Sunni household, and by the grace of Allah and because of the Ahlul Bayt, I started learning about Shia Islam through a very dear friend of mine. And one of the first things that struck me was the tragedy of Karbala and what happened here all those many hundreds of years ago. So I started learning about Imam Hussein, and I started looking at images on YouTube and on the internet, and I started yearning and longing to want to come here and visit Imam Hussein and thank him for inviting me to the path of the Ahlul Bayt. When I did finally arrive in Karbala, I couldn't actually believe I was here because it was like a dream. One of my dreams had become a reality. I very nearly backed out of coming because of the security situation in Iraq. I have 2 children, but I thought I might never get this opportunity to visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So when I did finally arrive, I was very overwhelmed and moved by the experience. I haven't actually been on any kind of pilgrimage before, so I haven't done Hajj or Umrah before. So I didn't quite know what to expect, but I knew I had this very deep yearning to visit him and thank him for the sacrifice that he made and what he went through on the day of Ashura. I think what struck me and what moved me the most was when we visited the shrine of Ali Asghar alayhi salam, because I have 2 children of my own, and we know that Imam Hussein held him up in front of the enemy camp and said, you know, my baby needs water, not that much to quench his thirst. And we know the way he died, with the arrow going through the baby's neck. And then I thought of my own children, and then I thought of how near Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam was to getting the water to the women and children. I think that's what affected me the most, because he was so near to them, but he couldn't get the water to the children and the women. And I think because he lost both of his arms, and we visited those places. So for me, overall, it's been a very moving experience being here in Karbala, and it's been a great privilege and honor to be here. And I encourage as many people as possible to visit Imam Hussein and to pay their respects and to thank him and his family for the sacrifice they made on the day of Ashura, and I hope to return very soon, inshallah. My message to friends and family is, if they can visit to pay their respects to Imam Hussein by any means, they should make it the priority in their life. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Imtiaz, and I'm from London. I work as a software developer in the insurance industry. And this is my first time in Iraq and in Karbala. I feel honored and blessed to have been given an opportunity to come and visit these holy personalities, for where even the angels are queuing up to pay homage. My journey so far has been full of questions. I've been wondering how it is possible for humanity to sacrifice or kill innocent people like the grandchild of the Prophet, and also including a 6-month-old baby. And what is striking is that these were people who were praying, who were fasting, and who were reciting the Quran. So I asked myself, is it possible that if I was back at the time, that I would also be able to commit those crimes? Yes, it is possible. So for me, it was a journey to come and visit my Imam and confirm to him that I will not act or be with the oppressors. And on a day-to-day basis, I will make sure that through my deeds and my actions, that I follow the true path. So one of the striking things was that when we went into the Haram of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, was the way they severed the head of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the Qatl-e-Gha. And we were asked the distance from where the head was severed and where the body is buried. And it was shivering that how it's possible for a human being to be butchered in a way that they were butchered, and for the body to suffer. I mean, you wouldn't do this even to an animal. The instruments they use to kill our Imam is just beyond any description. So it's just been very, very emotional to see how all these places, how near they are, how also seeing places like where Hazrat Abbas' arm's been cut off, where Hazrat Ali Asghar was shot by an arrow. It's one thing hearing about all these experiences in Majalis, but to see it here through the various sort of focal points, it's been a different experience. My message to everyone will be that if you're given an opportunity, grab it. You don't know if you're going to get it again. Come here. There's a saying that if you've been to Hajj and you haven't been to Karbala, your Hajj isn't complete. So take the opportunity.